Hey, this past weekend, I made a trip up to North Canton, Ohio for the 2026 National Sevens Youth Rugby Championship at Walsh University. Teams from all over the country came together for, U14 through U18 divisions, playing in championship brackets on the Friday and Saturday. It was really cool. Great to experience it. I walked away convinced that probably American families should take a more serious look at rugby as a whole. Now, before I say anything else, let me be clear. I didn't grow up playing rugby. I didn't coach rugby. I played soccer and baseball. And I always loved football, but my mom never let me play because she was worried about injuries. So rugby was completely foreign when we decided to let Ryland play rugby. One of his football coaches actually told us, hey, he should come and try this out. So we did. Dolly's reaction was probably the same as most moms out there is, why would you ever let him do this? This is crazy. Are you out of your mind? It was even funnier was the first time that our youngest, Lucy, ever got to watch Ryland play. She had the exact same reaction. So as parents, with siblings, I understand you want to protect your kids and you don't want them getting hurt. So I understand the aversion to rugby. That's normal. The reality is every sport carries risk. Football, wrestling, soccer, even track, they all carry risk. Cheer, our daughter in cheer, that sport carries risk. So rugby isn't any different. The question is whether, it's the benefits of the sport outweigh the risk of playing the sport. I mean, there's risk in everything. And what I saw this weekend reminded me exactly why I think more families should come to the sport. I watched kids from all over the country compete at this incredibly high level. They battled for these championships, and every kid left the field, knowing they gave their all. But I also watched something that I thought was a little different in rugby than other sports, which is there's a different level of respect, a different level of sportsmanship that comes with rugby that maybe isn't there in some of the other sports. Parents of both sides and from all teams are cheering for incredible plays, regardless of what their favorite team is. Kids from these different states instantly became friends as they got to the sport. Just feels a little different. I don't know, but most sports that I'm used to is when you have parents coming out for football at youth leagues, they feel like they're signing an NIL contract the first time they try to get their kid on the team. And these travel schedules thing feels like you're competing for some Fortune 500 company. I mean, you have to create your highlight videos and do all this. And look, I'll admit, I've created my own highlight videos for our kids, for even track and football and cheer and everything else. But the pressure for those other sports is there. And I think those take the joy out of the sport sometimes, and rugby, I think some of that pressure isn't necessarily there the same way. And I'm not exactly sure why, but this sport teaches them how to deal with adversity. It teaches them how to be a part of a team, how to win with humility, how to push through the hard things, how to lose, and how to pick yourself back up and fight through the hard parts. It really demands accountability. You can't hide on a rugby field. Everybody has to tackle, everybody has to run, everybody has to contribute and be a member of the team. There is no, that's not my job. Everybody is a specialist on the field. There's no, pointing the finger. It's really a team sport, and they all have their role and they all matter. And I know the aversion to the helmets and shoulder pads and missing all those things, but foundationally, they're different. They tackle different. Their control matters. Their discipline matters. Their respect matters. That doesn't mean that injuries don't happen. Absolutely not. We've seen our fair share of injuries on the football field, in a cheer squad, and on a rugby field. But if you research rugby and you take a little more harder look at it, there are fewer stoppages for contact. There are fewer issues with contact comparatively to football. But neither sport is risk-free. My personal opinion is why there's less risk or less injuries in rugby than football is because without pads, kids hit different. They actually focus on the proper technique for tackling versus just throwing everything out there feeling like they've got this false security with the helmet and pads. Whereas in rugby, they're really focused on what is the best way to bring somebody down, because you can't just hit them with your head like you can in football. There is no helmet. Rylan has really improved in this sport, and I've watched him fail. I've watched him adjust. I've watched him come back, and that really is huge for him. I think developmentally for any kid, this sport is huge. One of the things that I thought was coolest about rugby was watching. They play these games that are called motley games, where kids will literally take off their jersey from the team they've been playing on and go make a team just so they can play. It's 100% what youth sports is supposed to be about. The goal of playing and having fun and enjoying the sport and learning the lessons that are being taught out there. It really is an inclusive sport. There is no, you're typed into a position. You have to do everything. It really is. Big kids, small kids, fast, strong. It really doesn't matter. Every kid can find their place on this field. This sport really has room for them all. Like I said, I'm now a huge advocate for this sport. Not because I think it's better than football. I'd still rather watch football than unless it's my kid. But I'd still rather watch professional football than I would professional rugby. But I think playing, I think families need to know this exists. I think families need to know that there's more of this community. I think there's families that need to know this is an option for their kids. And as one of the things that the rugby coaches say a lot when they talk about this sport is, football may end at the end of your high school career. Football may stop at that point, and you never get to play again. Rugby carries on. It's a club. It's a family. It's a sport that anybody can join into, and I really encourage anybody, any parent out there that's looking for where is this niche for their child to fit into. Find your local rugby club, talk to the coaches, talk to other parents, talk to some of these people, the kids that have done it. Kids continue to be advocates for your friends to play this sport, and talk to each other, understand it, and hey. I'm biased, so if you're in Northern Virginia, anywhere out here, and you're looking for a sport for your kid to play, come join the SYC West End Rugby Club and be a part of the team here. It's a fantastic sport and a fantastic club, and I think it's all the more important that we continue to grow it and expand it in this region, because it's only getting better. Rugby isn't just about building athletes and growing that. It's building good people, and I think we can use a lot more of that. And I think this is one of those sports that is still at its core very focused on raising good human beings instead of professional athletes. This funny shaped ball and a muddy field and the community around it, maybe it deserves a second look. So I would encourage anybody out there, go take a look. Why not watch a rugby game, see if your kid wants to play? And if you're an adult, man, there's adult clubs too. So check it out, look at it, and follow us, share. Hey, give me your thoughts on rugby. If you've ever played before, have anything, your kids are in rugby, give me your thought. And I'd love to hear from you.